Guys, I really appreciate you giving me your time. I know how busy you are this week, particularly with the Michelin reviews out. How did you meet, and how did you get the idea to create Blackbird?
I worked with Jill Rosenthal we worked together at Ooh La La back in the day, and I was working at Vinyl, and she was doing the food at Vinyl, and her husband David worked for a short stint at Irwin's with Paul, who was the chef de cuisine there. So I just happened to go in there on a recommendation from Jill, and I introduced myself to Chef and to Paul, sorry. And he had mentioned when he came to the table after brunch service that he just did like 250 or 280 covers for brunch, and the night before he did 250 for dinner, so he's splattered with egg. And
was haggard.
Yeah, you were.
I hated brunch.
Much different than the polished version we see today.
Amazing, isn't it?
True, it's true.
Isn't it amazing?
Okay.
But we set up a meeting.
Okay.
Donnie and our other business partner Ricky came. Ricky, I saw a car drive by. It was 66 banana yellow Wildcat with this greaser smoking a cigarette behind the wheel. And then I'm like, that can't be one of the guys. And sure enough, it was. And then this guy pulls up, and he pulls up in a Pontiac Sunbird.
It was my mom's, actually.
Yeah, because he had sold all of his worldly possessions in order to get this restaurant going. Except he had, of course,
so the
he had like a
was
$5,000 suit on.
As always.
You know, an amazing suit.
Always.
He looked like $1 million. And we met at a little coffee house and just chatted. And I think we may have even shaken hands the first day we met.
Okay.
And I learned today that they gave me the opportunity because I was free. I was zero. I had worked for Rick Bayless for a long time and for Irwin for a long time at multiple projects, and kind of made the decision that I was not going to work for anyone else. I was going to be a partner in a restaurant, or I was going to make another career change. I just was tired of working for the man, not doing things the way that I believe in and the way that I've always envisioned they should be.
Well, let's tap into that, because if we fast forward now 13 years later, 4 restaurants, great, very premium cocktail establishment, right? I mean, you guys are in town. You know, I remember starting with you. I remember, working on reservation sheets.
Remember the cocktail we had together? We were pre-open, you were open, and you and I had a drink at a subterranean bar right around the corner in River North from your establishment, and how driven and how passionate we were about that opening year.
Yeah. I think what I felt very early on is that you all had a tremendous amount of mutual respect. You had very clearly defined areas of responsibility, and you had a focus that I don't think has been really represented in any other capacity. You all have a unique drive. It's nice to see that you're still very playful, right? That despite the considerable success, you're having a lot of fun doing this.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's 5 years. For me, it's 5 years of therapy.
We fight like brothers, and for many years we'd be like yelling at each other, like close to strangling each other for real, and kind of have a eureka moment. We're on the same side of the argument. Like we're really arguing. We're not fighting against each other, but we're
trying to do the same thing.
Trying to do the same thing. Passionate about issues. I think we're both driven by success. I mean, we've always said we want to be the best at everything we do, and I think for us, the best is being hyper creative. I mean, approaching projects like no one else does. We really, not to pat ourselves on the back, but we really pushed the communal seating thing with Avec in this city. I mean, the buzz was, it doesn't work. No one wants to sit communally, and Avec is like the warmest, coziest place in the world.
I think the biggest compliment that you could have with Avec is that's where the industry goes. If you look any given night, you will see the sommeliers, the chefs, the servers, the cooks of all the great restaurants in town.
Still to this day.
I think people who have not worked in this business, trying to critique it is at best a tainted observation. But when the people in your industry celebrate what you do, then I think you've really hit it big.
I said I tweeted this morning when I found out that Avec didn't get a Michelin star, because I think it's such a unique place. I think it's one of a kind. I think the food is amazing. I really believe that it deserved a Michelin star. I tweeted that no one understood the Clash when they first started either. No one understood Joe Strummer, and I mean, look at now the Clash is.
Right.
I mean, for me, it's the only band that mattered.
Right. So let's break this down really quickly. What is the common thread between all of your concepts?
Well, I would say that they're all individual. They have their own individual style, but they're all one-offs. I mean, if we wanted to, we could take the Avec, and we've been prompted to probably, I don't know, somewhere in the area of 50 or 60 different, maybe 75 different developers, Oak Park, Madison, Wisconsin, anywhere in the nation.
Dallas, Texas, New York City.
To open an Avec. And we continue to be driven by passion and, not to quote a line from Michael Jordan's contract, but I know that the Bulls had an unbelievable contract with him for 5 or 6 years. And he loved playing school-out basketball. Pull over, play with kids, do whatever he wanted. And in his contract, he put a clause in there called the love of the game clause. To me, I mean, I think that's synonymous to what we do, and it's a collaborative as well. I mean, we have the same designer that we worked with back in '96, Thomas Slusher, who's now gone on successfully and opened his own company called Design Bureau in New York, and has done several. He's on his third concept for Danielle.
And David Chang, and he just did Marcus Samuelson's new restaurant, so he's a big part of what we do. I mean, the
head of the curve. So there's the other item. We don't follow a trend.
You create it. You can say it. Say it.
I have a difficult time saying it because I'm humbled by it. I mean,
but I think you're humbled to say it publicly, but you absolutely believe it internally, and there's
100%.
no question about that.
Without a doubt.
And so I appreciate your candor, but I know how competitive you are. I know how visual you are, and I know that you are here to, in the proverbial way, kick ass and take names, and you've done it.
Yeah.
You guys are 13 years down the road, and it's been awesome to watch.
Thank you.
What I want to do is I'm going to dig in with Donnie a little bit and get inside that brain, and then we're going to hook up a little bit later and talk about some beer and food. All right, buddy?
Sounds awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks. Look forward to it.
Awesome.